much. A lovely warm welcome. Hope you're all well tonight. Feeling great. Before I left the house today, I had a good look dump. Don't get me wrong, I'm not superstitious. I just had a good look at it afterwards. Turns out I've been eating a lot of sweet corned. It's good to be here. It's good to be here tonight. I know a lot of comedians say that, but as a father of twins, I actually do mean it. It's great to get out and see what the inside of a pub looks like. I was very nervous going into fatherhood. It was a big step. I was the youngest in my family. None of my siblings had kids. I was sort of the first of my friends to have kids. I didn't even do Leaving Cert Biology, so when my wife came home and explained that she'd somehow become impregnated, it really was quite a shock. I sort of reasoned at the time that possibly it was because we were sharing a toilet seat. I did what the man is supposed to do. The man is supposed to go out and buy a book. And now, people here with no kids will probably say, if you go into a bookstore, right? Bookstore. There's an entire wall dedicated exclusively to books about babies. Now, as I say, it'll come as a shock to you because if you're single or if you don't have to worry about babies, it's covered by this prophylactic force field that you just can't see, but it's amazing, it's the entire wall. It starts off with books about baby names. I don't really get the point, there's hundreds of them, they're all just plagiarizing each other. It's for people who are too lazy to write telephone directories, they sort of start to we'll leave it at that, release it as a baby book, so I can't really talk about laziness because we were so lazy we went in. The first baby name book we saw was 1001 Celtic Baby Names by Catherine Barry. Is it Catherine for a girl and Barry for a boy? But then there's the self-help books. These are typically divided into two sections. The first section sort of goes through your pregnancy, the changes in the woman's body, the changes in the fetus, the growth stages. It explains some of the complex medical terminology that's used, explains the birth, everything afterwards, very inclusive. And then there's the other section, which are books for men. A particularly worthy tome was written by a man called Baz. It was Big Baz's book for blokes about babies. Baz wasn't his real name, it was a nickname. I think his real name was Cunt or something. Just a sucker for alliteration, so I picked it up and bought it. And the first chapter was how to explain to your friends and family about the fact that you're about to become a father. And I thought, well, that's very useful, because I mean, like, how am I going to go home to my mother and explain that I've been sharing a toilet seat with someone? Baz was big in his pictures. He loved explaining how to explain to people with lovely diagrams. And chapter 1, figure 1A suggested a move like this. And then chapter 1, figure 1B suggested a move like this. And put together with a handy little slogan, you ended up with, I knocked her up an eye! I was a bit concerned, I worried that possibly this wasn't the book for me. It certainly didn't go down well with the in-laws, but I carried on. I read right through to the last chapter, chapter 2 it was called. And it explained possible uses for your babies after they were born. And this actually was quite an eye-opener. And if you're ever crossing a busy street, right, loads of traffic, zoom, zoom, just get the pram and just fuck it out there. Parents scream to a halt because nobody wants to, nobody wants to seem to be scream to a halt. You just stand out there, you give them the look, you say, by God, fucking buy me an eye! And just for that added, as the French say, piece of resistance, you just hurl a can of special brew at the windscreen. I must admit I found that quite useful and I still use it to this day. But obviously with the sort of level of intelligence that I'd gained from this book, I went into the first big event, the first scan, quite nervous. I went to CUMH and came in and met the midwife, and she was very kind, very understanding, and she welcomed my wife and lay her down and she said, "Oh, and are you with the father?" And I was oh my God, you've been reading your books, he's a kid. I sat down and I held my wife's hand and looked into her eyes. And we looked up the monitor and slowly but surely this image started to appear on the screen. And the midwife turned around and she said, "I have a little surprise for you." And I said, "Yeah, I can see that." I released my wife's hand, I turned to her and I said, "You fucking whore!" I smashed the monitor to the ground, shards of glass flying everywhere. I stormed out the door and went on what, well, the next day's Echo described it as a 6-hour rampage, but they always... it was like 5 3/4 max. Finally they cornered me on the roof. Helicopters, tranquilizers. I woke up anyway in a cell with a doctor standing beside me. He asked me what had triggered this psychopathic episode. And I explained to him what I had seen in that room on the screen. And he just looked at me with the weary sigh of a man who'd heard all of this before and imparted on me the wisdom that sadly Baz had forgotten to. Essentially the way the scan works is it uses high-frequency sound waves which create an image of the child on the screen. And if these sound waves hit something solid like a bone, it'll be white. But around the sides of the baby, where I thought the skin was, but actually the fluid, the sound passes straight through and it seems black. It turned out that the surprise wasn't that my wife had been having an affair with the Libyan doctor from down the road, but that we were having twins. I was sure after released from the cell, the slap in the wrist, I just thought, you know, feedback-wise, I just thought maybe they could put up a sign in the room just explaining this. I can't have been the first person to have made the mistake. Went back to the bookstore. Incredibly, Baz had once again reproduced. Baz 2, this time it's multiple. First chapter was much longer. There were far more diagrams. I don't really want to go into it, but essentially, fire! Knocked her up real good at night! Bounce barrels! The second chapter really was sort of cut and paste from the other book, except at the end where the sub-editor had put in a suicide note apologising for what he'd unleashed on the world, which was nice. Women and men sort of react differently to pregnancy. I love the way all my wife's friends came up to her and I go, oh, can I rub you on the belly for a look? I said, oh, can I rub you? Oh, and it was like one by one they'd all come up. Not one of my friends came up to me and wanted to rub my testicles. Or money. My wife and I are very proud to be Irish. We think Ireland's the greatest country in the world. We think we have the best healthcare in the entire world. Obviously, unless you're sick or old or whatever. So with this in mind, we decided to go public. So we met our doctor, Maya, and came in, oh, hold a hang out, sit down there, we'll have a look at the old scan there. And look at the scan. Jesus Christ! I said, what's wrong? I said, well, listen, lad. You've got a 4-legged daughter, you've got a 3-legged son that you'd be very proud of. I said, come here, I don't know if you're a dad, because he looks a bit 10 to me, do you know? So we went private. We met our new doctor. He was fantastic. He brought up something we hadn't even thought about, was the risk. You know, we knew there was a risk in pregnancy and childbirth. But we didn't realise that for multiple births, the risk was much higher. And it was like, oh my God, I hadn't even thought of this. I said to the doctor, how much higher is this risk? He thought about it for a second and said, yeah, it's approximately twice as much. 7 years of medical school. Thankfully, in the end, everything went fine. There were no complications in the pregnancy. I was present at the birth. I was quite pleased with that. I met a man in one of the prenatal courses. He already had a child and he was saying to me, you know, you just have to be there for the birth. Like, so it's an incredible experience. So it's almost like a fantasy. And we were inside there and I looked at my wife sweating and moaning with 3 women between her thighs. I could kind of understand it. We got out of the hospital. Of course, Dad had been at home for the week on his own, so there was just like lager and crisps in the house, so we had to go shopping. So we went to our local shopping centre. We sort of weren't prepared for it, but overnight we become the rock stars of the baby world. We were walking up to the store and there was like this little gaggle of grannies around looking at a 6-week-old boy. And I knew the second they'd spotted us because all I could hear was, get this fucking piece of shit away from me, there are fucking twins over there. We were enveloped with old people poking, trying to think, oh, how old, what are they named? Are they identical? It's like, well, one's got a penis in it. This went on, it only takes about half an hour for shopping. 4 hours later, we arrived back at the car, put the shopping into the car. I had to go back into the shop to get the kids because I forgot. We hadn't slept for a week at this stage, obviously. Brought the kids back out to the car, and we were just putting them into the car. Next to this truck was passing, and the truck just stopped. Stopped dead in the road. Stopped all these cars beeping. What are you doing? What are you doing? And he rolls down the window, and he shouts out to us, Hey, bet you got your hands full with that pair. Now I know my wife's breasts had gotten larger during the pregnancy. I was just inappropriate, I thought. But truck drivers are a strange breed anyway. In my work, I sort of have to not interact, sort of deal with them to a certain extent. You have to be very careful with truck. Actually, before I go any further, have you any armed truck drivers in the audience? No, good. They're not raised to deal with. They're knights of the road. Their job, their lives are behind the wheel. That's where they want to be. They don't want to be out, on the streets talking to people. You ever hear that story? The radio show in England about who'd be your ideal dinner guest? It's like, oh, I'd love Adolf Hitler, Jesus Christ, and a truck driver. I'd really like a truck driver. I'd love to hear their take on things in work. People don't tend to talk to truck drivers, but you have to keep up the facade of being interested. It sort of keeps civilization going. So you need something to say to them, and I find "how's things" to be quite a good opener, because it's grammatically incorrect, so it sort of puts them at ease. Sometimes if they're quite tame, if you just put the back of your hand up to them, they sort of smell it. don't pat them though, don't pat them, they don't like that. But it's a simple question, there's a simple answer. How's things? Not too bad. Right, that's it, we're not going to talk to you anymore now. We're keeping the wheels of civilization rolling. But one day, went out, this truck driver came in, how's things? He turns around to me and he says, not 3 bad. I was shocked, I didn't know where to look, I didn't know what to say. Alright, there isn't a truck driver university, but they have to have basic social verbal skills, to control their big trucks and everything. I was quite stunned, but then, now I don't know what it was, there's the little twinkle in his eye or the little smile dancing across his chapped lips, but I suddenly realised he'd made a little joke. Now, I know there are comedy purists amongst you out there who will say if you have to explain a joke then it's not funny, but I think this might be the exception that proves the rule. You see, what this chap had done, right, was he'd taken not too bad, T-O-O, and replaced it with not too bad, T-W-O. Now, even though these two words have different spellings, different meanings, phonetically identical. So the difficulty for me, just sort of being a guy who put stuff onto a truck, was that unless I'm a phonetic expert, which I'm not, I couldn't tell the difference, right? And I would look like a fool. So what he did was, he took the number 2, and he added another number, which is 1, 2. What a clever, intelligent man. I bet this guy is fucking knee-deep in pussy. So, what we're going to do, right? I'm going to bend the old laws of physics and space-time here now. What we're going to do is we're going to go backwards in time to the start of my gig, right? Because you've given me so much love and attention, it's great. Really feel my ego very sad. So, the way we're going to go backwards in time is I'm going to walk backwards. And I'm going to go back. Sweeper? Oh no! I've gone too far back in time! That was my good little poof from earlier today. We have to go forward in time. Here we are, just coming onto stage. I want to make all you guys extremely funny and witty and really intelligent and really beautiful to members of the opposite sex. I'm going to walk back on the stage. Oh, not that one. This one. And I'm going to go, how's things?
Not 3 bad!
You've been a wonderful, beautiful, sexually attractive audience. Thank you very much.